Everyone, so as per the results of my last poll, the most popular video request was the Sub-GHz Bruteforcer app. So what is the Sub-GHz Bruteforcer app? What it does is it allows you to attempt to brute force or crack and gain access to radio controlled devices operating in the sub-gigahertz frequency range, which means below 1000 megahertz or 1 gigahertz. So the way that it works is you select a specific protocol like CAIM, for example, which is the most popular, and the frequency like 433 megahertz. And then the app will systematically generate codes that are within the parameters of the protocol. It will transmit each generated code 3 times over the frequency, but you can adjust the amount of repetitions up or down. And the reason why it repeats the codes is to ensure that the receiver receives the signal. Then what it'll do is it will continue generating and transmitting the codes, and it'll cycle through all the possible combinations for the protocol that you selected. Now, some considerations that need to be made. Number one, it can be time consuming. Brute forcing takes time, especially for protocols that have large key spaces. Now, this will be less effective against modern systems that use rolling codes or dynamic security or stuff like that. And as a disclaimer, it should only be used legally on devices that you own or have permission to test. It would be illegal to go up to somebody's garage and try to brute force open their garage. So let's show you the app. So we're going to go down. And here is the Sub-GHz Bruteforcer app. So these are all the different modulations that it accepts. So CAIM 12-bit 303 megahertz, CAIM 12-bit 307 megahertz, CAIM 12-bit 315 megahertz, CAIM 12-bit 433 megahertz, CAIM 12-bit 868, Nice, Ansonic, Holtec, Chamberlain, and Linear Delta 3, Unilarm, SMC 5326, and PT2260. So the most common, as I said, is CAIM at 315 or 433 megahertz, depending on where you live. So let's just go with the 433 megahertz. So you select that, and as you can see, it's saying that there's 4,095 possible codes. Now on the left, where you see the -1 button, and on the right, where you see the +1 button, you'll see in the middle top, it says X3. So that means it's going to transmit each code 3 times. You can reduce that to 1, or you can increase it to whatever you want. But 3 strikes the right balance. So we're going to click Start. And as you can see, it's very quickly going through all the possible codes for this system. And as I said previously, CAIM is the most popular, with Chamberlain coming in second. I'm not sure what would be third place. I haven't looked into it. But as you can see, it's transmitting all these signals, and it'll go through all of them. doing 3 transmissions per um, number. So like when you see it go from 475 to 476, it actually did it 3 times in that time. So eventually you will get the right code and you will be able to gain access, but sometimes it's just a matter of time. Now, the way statistics works and randomness works, theoretically on the second try it might work, or it might take the 100th try, or the 1000th try, or the 4000th try, or the last try. You never know when you're brute forcing. So there you go. There's a quick video on CAIM 12-bit and Sub-GHz brute forcing app. I should note that I do not believe this app is in the official firmware. I'm running Momentum firmware, and it does come with that app pre-installed. So you'd have to check to see if that app is on official firmware. But if it isn't, then I do recommend that you upgrade to Momentum firmware. It is by far the best firmware. So if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments. And if you have any requests for new videos, go ahead and leave your suggestions in the comments. Cheers, guys, and happy flipping.